Mr. Gabel, first off, the most pressing issues as you see them in this provincial election campaign.
Well, one of the most pressing issues in my mind is the sustainable communities and ensuring that the communities have the ability to be sustainable. I think this comes from many different directions to be able to achieve this. Poverty reduction is one of the primary ones. The Saskatchewan Liberal Party has talked about increasing the personal income tax level to an amount equal to minimum wage. Another point that the party has put forward is increasing the minimum wage to $13 an hour. A third item was to introduce a refund for people earning less than the basic minimum so that they would get the equivalent of the federal taxes that have been deducted from them. This is all designed to put more money into the pockets of low-income people and the working poor, and that we believe that money will just go directly back into the economy as these people are trying to improve their lifestyles.
So I think you just defined sustainable, because that's what I was going to ask you to do. And the second question, I think you've already answered partly, at least. How can you and your political party improve life for the citizens of your constituency? Anything you'd like to expand on there?
I think there are a lot of important other issues with sustainable communities, including in terms of poverty. I think safe housing, safe communities, affordable housing are all important. I think right now we have people with disabilities, seniors, and a lot of disenfranchised people who really need to be given the opportunity to have dignity and self-respect again, and to be made to feel welcome and valuable parts of society. I think that will have a huge impact on the community as a whole. But the next big thing in terms of sustainable communities, in my mind, is infrastructure. And infrastructure is, I believe, a huge important factor in Moose Jaw. Right now, Moose Jaw is facing 87 kilometers of cast iron water line, which the decision just came back from the SMB approving the local improvement program. I don't personally believe the local improvement program was ever designed to be used for a project of this size, and it makes me nervous when I see a city considering a local improvement program as a source of revenue. I don't think they were designed for this major of projects, and I think the province has to have another look at that. But the city of Moose Jaw not only has 87 kilometers of cast iron water line that needs to be replaced as soon as possible. City of Moose Jaw also has 25 bridges and dams, all of which are older than average and below average in terms of maintenance. There is a lot of money that's needed to bring those up to par. So provincial and federal funding to assist with infrastructure is vital, and I think that's something that I would be pushing very hard for.
How about the local economy? How do you and your party plan on growing the local economy, sir?
Beyond the infrastructure and dealing with the infrastructure issues, which I believe all of that construction will bring a fair bit of money into the community. One of the largest mistakes that I believe the Sask Party has made was to get rid of the film tax credit. This was a very advantageous situation for Moose Jaw, and the party has said that we would reinstate that tax credit and hope to rebuild that industry. With the dollar the way it is right now, it would be making this province very attractive to Hollywood, right? And we just lost all of that with the loss of the film tax credit. The other thing that to me is important is Moose Jaw is a central transportation hub. There's no way you can argue that it's not. And the Sask Party or the government recently improved the number 2 highway from Chamberlain to just south of the Qu'Appelle Valley. That needs to be continued all the way to Moose Jaw. If Moose Jaw is going to be a transportation hub, that is the one area where we need more support.
Touch on your personal strengths as a candidate, please, Mr. Gabel.
Personally, I've been involved in city issues for the last decade. I've followed city council. I've been involved in local committees. I think I'm in a position to know what is important in the community, and I think I can bring that to the provincial level. I also have experience dealing with lower income people, which I don't believe there is enough representation for those people in provincial government right now. I also have experience dealing with local businesses, having been a part of the Board of Revision for the last 8 years. I understand a lot of the pressures that they're facing, especially when it comes to taxes. So I think I bring a wide variety of skills and knowledge to the position.
And finally, sir, closing statement.
I know what's facing the city of Moose Jaw and the issues facing the city of Moose Jaw. I know that the infrastructure problems go well beyond the condition of the streets. That's what's visible. What's not visible is a lot more frightening if you start to see it. But I've sat in on city budget meetings for the last decade. I've sat in on city executive meetings. I've sat in on city council meetings. I've been a part of the different local committees over the last decade. And I think that's given me a very opportunistic view of what is important in this community.
Terry Gabel, local Liberal candidate in the riding of Moose Jaw Wakamow, as we feature local candidates on discovermoosejaw.com.